Welcome back to SuaveShred Guitar Lessons. My name is Mario, and in our previous lesson we learned how to do blues scales, which are also minor scales in the pentatonic shape. And again, you can use that for any of your minor progressions, any blues song. You just find the root note, and you play that 1-4, 1-3, 1-3. But in this lesson, we're going to jump straight into something different, and I'm going to teach you a chord progression that you can use to play a number of different songs that's pretty impressive for a beginner progression, and that's the G chord, the Cadd9 chord, and a D chord. This is the first chord progression that I learned how to play, and I taught myself how to play guitar. So what we're going to do is learn how to make the G shape with our hand, and that's going to start with our middle finger on the 3rd fret of the low E string, our first finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, so we have, and then we're going to use these last two fingers on the 3rd fret of the high E and the high B string. So essentially, if you want to break it down finger by finger, we're going middle here on 3, first finger here on the 2nd fret of A, ring finger on the 3rd fret of B, and then on the high E, 3rd fret with the pinky. Sounds like a nice chord, and you can play those. Okay, so there's your G chord. And all we're going to do with this G chord to play the Cadd9 is take these two fingers and move them up a string. Now notice, it looks like it's down on the computer, but in our first lesson, I told you that this was the top of the guitar and this is the bottom. So we're moving them up one string each. So your middle finger is going to go to the A string on the 3rd fret, and your first finger is going to go to the D string on the 2nd fret. So it's going to sound like this. There's your G. There's your Cadd9. Now this is a pretty easy transition. But unfortunately, from Cadd9 to D, it's a little bit tougher. And what we're going to do essentially for D is we're going to have our first finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. That's our D. That's our G string right there. 2nd fret, G string. We're going to have our ring finger on the B string on the 3rd fret. And then we're going to have our middle finger on this high E string on the 2nd fret. So that makes this. And for that, you're not going to strum these bottom two strings. You're going to strum from the D string on. Because if you strum these two strings, it sounds kind of muddy. So essentially what you have is you got your G, you got your Cadd9, and you got your D. And with these chords, you can play songs like there's a lot of different combinations you can play. So again, we have our Cadd9, we have our G, and we have our D. So practice going in between those chords, and there's a lot of different songs if you can figure them out. This has been SuaveShred Guitar Lessons. I'm Mario, and I hope you learned something new.